Hello again, everybody. Series 156 is live. We are on the air again, presenting this matchup for you, a brand new one. Hope you've been enjoying all of our matchups, and definitely glad you're along for the ride for this fun frolic through history with teams from all eras coming out and playing each other. We do pick the teams randomly, so you never know what you're going to get. You can get a World Series champion to a team in the cellar. It makes for interesting matchups. And this time around, we did get two more teams. It's the Cubs versus the Tigers, but the teams that came up this time from their eras are losing sides. It happens, but still can make for an exciting series. And we'll see how the teams do against each other. But let's introduce them. First, the 1956 Chicago Cubbies, led by one of their former greats, Stan Hack. They were last in the National League. They finished eighth, lost 94 games, struggled, obviously. The team was led by Hall of Famer Ernie Banks. At 25 years old, Banks was really coming into his own. 297, 28 long ones at short, 85 RBIs. The star of the team was Banks, a team that struggled to support him through the lineup. It was Banks that's the focal point of this team. And, of course, Banks came into his career at a young age and started playing outstanding baseball, winning multiple MVPs. So he's in his prime here. You can also see he is joined by 37-year-old Monte Irving, who maybe you recognize, hopefully you recognize, one of the real historical pioneers of the game and of the color barrier. But Irvin here is up in his career, 271, 15 home runs. So obviously he's not in his prime, but it'll be interesting to see how he does as the Cubbies will battle it out. Some other notable players here maybe. You can see Walt Morin had a nice season with 23 home runs. He hit 285. From there, it really drops off for the Cubs. Gene Baker, 258. He drove in 57. Pete Winsonant, he hit only 239, drove in 46. Don Fondy, not a great season. And Hobie Landreth struggled behind the plate, hitting only 221. So the Cubbies, again, when you get past Banks, it gets pretty thin. Eddie Mixis off the bench, he played in 114 games, and Jim King hit 15 long ones off the bench. He hit 249. Some talent there for the Cubs on the bench, but still very thin when it comes to scoring runs, which obviously hurt their pitching staff. We see some losing records here other than Bob Rush, who was 13-10. He was able to pitch pretty well, got the most innings. He did have 13 complete games and a shutout, although he did allow 30 long balls. Long balls, as you can see here, a problem for the Cub pitching. They let up quite a bit of them. Sam Jones, 9-14. His ERA close to 4 there for him. Warren Hacker, a very, very tough luck pitcher, 3-13. His record, he got 24 starts in 168 innings with a 466. And Don Kaiser, 4-9 in his 22 starts, also let up 15 home runs in his work. Jim Davis, Jim Brosnan, some other arms that got some starts, and Turk Lone was 9-8. He was the guy coming in for relief duty. We'll probably see a lot of him, especially if the pitchers get in trouble. So the Cubs did have respectable arms, you can say, but overall the team struggled, and their record proved it. So the Cubs are a team we don't expect a lot from, but they did get fortunate on the draw. Their opponents are also a losing side, much more modern. In the late 90s, it is the 1998 Detroit Tigers. The Tigers, led by Buddy Bell and somewhat by Larry Parrish, finished 5th in the AL Central, and they also lost 97 games. So the Tigers of the late 90s were not the strongest team either, as you'll see here from their lineup. Not the most notable names. You might recognize Louis Gonzalez before his days with the D-backs. He is on this team at 30 years old, 23 home runs for him. The team did have some pop maybe in their bats. You can see Tony Clark with 34 long ones and 100 RBIs. He hit 291. And Damian Easley led the team in WAR, 15 steals, 100 RBIs for Easley, 27 long ones. And Bobby Higginson, a name there from the past. He played in 157 games in right field. 284 for him, not a bad season, 25 long ones, 85 RBI. So some talent here. Joe Aranda also there at third base. Geronimo Baroa at 238, got some work at the DH spot, as did Frank Calavanato, who hit 282. He got a number of games at DH as well. Billy Ripken on this team, Bip Roberts, even Gabe Kapler as a rookie's on this team. So not a great lineup, but some pop there, and not a lineup I don't think that deserved to lose 97 games, and you'll see why they lost so many. It's the pitching that really hurt this team. Very, very thin, and some ERAs through the roof here for this club that let up a lot of runs. Justin Thompson was 11-15. He pitched okay in 222 innings. He struck out 149. Brian Moeller, also not terrible, 14-13. Actually managed to get a winning record with his 390. But after the top two, which weren't great, it really gets sour. Seth Gresinger in his 21 starts at 512. He struggled, and then, of course, Frank Castillo and Brian Powell really struggled with the ERAs over 6. You'll notice here Bryce Flory had 16 starts. He might be given a chance, but some issues here in the starting rotation after you get through the top two of Thompson and Moeller. Todd Jones was a bright spot. He had 28 saves, although his ERA also pretty high at 4.97. Jones did walk 36 men in the 63 innings, so maybe when you dig into the numbers, not as impressive as you might first think. Tim Worrell also in this pen, but overall, a really tough group here for the Tigers. They had a 4.93 team ERA, and you can see how that didn't supplement their okay lineup that especially lived on the long ball. So the Tigers, 97 lost team, but because of the percentages, they will actually have home field advantage in this series against the Cubs. We'll start off at Tiger Stadium before we head to Wrigley Field for the middle portion. So it is what it is. We got two teams here in 156 that have losing records, losses in the 90s, but they can put all that behind them here with a good series against each other. And hopefully we'll have an exciting one, and one of these teams will be moving on and proving that, hey, there is a second chance to redeem themselves and actually impress just when we thought history had forgotten all about them. So we're ready to go. Game one is going to face Sam Jones for the Cubbies against Justin Thompson. We'll see if the Cubs bats can do anything against the very, very weak Tiger pitching, and vice versa, as the Cub pitching will have to deal with some of the pop on the Tigers lineup. I would expect a little bit of a high-scoring series, but we'll see where it goes as we prepare now for the 1956 Cubs to battle out the 1998 Detroit Tigers, Series 156. Let's get it started and head out to Tiger Stadium for the opening game between these two Midwestern ball clubs. So opening game of this series, we're ready to go from Tiger Stadium. Glad you can join us. And Walt Morin is at the plate here in the first inning with one out, man on second. Thompson delivers. This ball's hit into right field. That'll get down. Runner's going to move to third, and Morin gets to second. So it is a double here for the Cubs. And Monte Irwin now has a big chance to get the Cubs on the board. He flies it to left. This ball will be caught. Runner's going to hold, so Irwin didn't get that ball far enough for the RBI, and the Cubs come up empty. We'll move bottom of the first. We got Damian Easley with two on and only one out. This ball's hit to the third baseman. Nice play at second, but they can't get the man. And a run will score. Detroit gets the lead here on the errant throw. It's 1-0 as we move to the fourth. Ernie Banks up there with a man on first base, one out. And Banks will take this into right field. So first and second for the Cubs here in the fourth inning. Looking to get on the board for the first time in this series. Jim King, the hitter. King will hit it to second. Play made at second. Relay to first. Double play there by the Tigers. They end the inning. And they will hold on so far for the 1-0 lead as we move to the sixth. Thompson pitching well here. Here's Fondy for the Cubs at the plate. Nobody out. A little number, that's going to be a tough play, and it's going to be an infield single for Fondy. So Chicago trying to get a rally here. Jim Baker, the hitter. Baker will hit it deep to left. This ball with some carry. Looking up. Goodbye. Home run, Baker. A clutch home run it is, and the Cubs take a 2-1 lead on the home run here in the 6th inning. That was a line drive, rope just over the wall. Baker with the home run, and now the Cubs have woken up. Pete Wisenant at the plate with 2 on, and he hits it on a fly to right field. That'll be caught, however, so the Cubs can't get any more out of the inning. 2 runs on the home run by Baker. And here's Encarnacion. We're in the 6th inning. Jones on the pitch for Chicago. And this ball's lifted to left field. That's going to drop for a hit. So Detroit trying to make a run here. Let's see if Luis Gonzalez can get something done. He hits it into right. Here's a base hit. Runner moving to third. So first and third, a 1-run game. Detroit knocking on the door again. Here's Joe Randa. Tim Davis has come in the pitch for the Cubs, and this ball's lifted to the outfield. What a play by the shortstop, but he can't get it. The ball drops. The ball got over his head. The center fielder nowhere to be found, and we are tied at 2. Davy Cruz now with a chance to do even more damage. This ball's hit to center. Let's see if someone can get there. It is caught by the center fielder. Wisenant, but a runner will tag up and move to third. So runners on the corners now for Brian Hunter. 1 out. There's a strikeout. Davis gets a big strikeout just when they need it. We're still tied at 2. And Bobby Higginson, the hitter here with 2 out. Higginson will pop this one up. So the Cubs do let up the lead, but it could have been worse. And a 2-2 tie now as we hit to the later portion of this ball game. Eddie Mixis is the hitter. We're tied at 2 in game 1. Mixis goes into right. That's hit hard all the way to the wall. So Mixis now with a leadoff double in the 7th inning. Chicago trying to get back into the lead. And here's the catcher. Ripped to first, unassisted play. Runner will move to third. Nice play by Clark at first base. And now D. Fondy with a chance to give the visitors the lead if he can come through here. But they pitch around him. He gets walked as Matt Anderson, the new pitcher, is on. He walks Fondy. Here's Gene Baker, who's already homered in this ball game. This ball's hit in front of the mound. Play at second. Relay to first. And the Tigers turn the double play. A great play by the pitcher, Anderson, and that will preserve the 2-2 tie. Let's see if the Tigers can take advantage. Here's a line drive to left field. A base hit there for Clark. And now Davis delivers too easily. This ball's hit deep to right. Looking up. Goodbye, home run. All the way over the wall. Damian Easley with a 2-run home run here late. It is now 4-2 Tigers. They take a 2-run lead on the home run. A big blow it is. And the Cubs coming up now in the 8th. Anderson now has a lead to work with. This ball's hit to short. Nice play there, but the throw is off. So an error on the shortstop. So the Cubs trying to come back. Here's Irwin. Irwin lines a single hard to center field. Still getting it done. So Chicago with 2 men on. Nobody out. And Ernie Banks, the man at the plate. Banks hits it deep to left. Let's see if it's caught. It is. So Banks hit it well, but it was caught. The Cubs still down 2. And Jim King up there with 1 out. Bud Brookales come in to pitch for Detroit, and there's a strikeout. He gets him looking. King down on strikes. So 2 outs now in the 8th inning. And this ball's hit to short. The Tigers are out of this jam, and they hold on here so far to their 4-2 lead. Joe Randa now trying to add to the Tiger lead. And Randa will lace a single to center field. It is the 12th Tiger given the ball game. And Brian Hunter now with one out. He comes up. Valentinetti, the pitcher, and this one's through the hole. So with one out, two on, the Tigers cannot capitalize, but we're in the ninth now with two outs. Brocale has a chance now to close it down as Fondi comes up with two outs here in the ninth inning. This ball's hit over the second baseman's head, so Chicago with their 10th hit. One last hope here as Gene Baker, who's already homered, represents the tying run in this ball game. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Ball's hit to short, unassisted to the bag, and the Tigers take game one. Coming from behind, they win it 4-2. The Baker home run, the difference. Home fans are happy, and the Tigers take first blood in this series. Damian Easley, 2 for 4 with the home run, 3 RBIs. It was actually his home run in the 7th inning that turned things around for Detroit, breaking the tie and the difference in the game. Sam Jones went 5 for the Cubbies. Justin Thompson, 6+ for the Tigers, but neither got the decision. Anderson actually gets the win, Davis the loss, and Brocale gets the save for the Tigers as they pulled through. Baker was the one that got the Cubs on the board early with the long one, but Easley, the man of the night who hit the 2-run bomb in the 7th inning. So the Tigers take game one. They have the edge now in the series. It was a good ball game to start. Let's see if game two continues to be close and see if the Tigers can go up 2-0. It's going to be Bob Rush for the Cubs against Brian Moeller as this series rolls on to game two. Let's get to the action and continue the drama here in Detroit, Tiger Stadium. Game two coming up. Scoreless game, 3rd inning. Brian Hunter at the plate with the man on. And Hunter is going to line a single to right. It's going to drop in front of the right fielder. Ball gets away there quickly, and runners will advance an extra base. So Morin botched the play there. He tried to make the catch, and the ball got past him. So now Higginson with the chance. And Higginson hits this one to center field. That might be deep enough. Let's see. Catch is made. Throw to the plate's going to be late, and the Tigers get on the board first. Cruz scores. 1-0 our score in this pitching pool here. 6th inning. Moeller facing Ernie Banks. Full count, 3-2. And this one's hit deep to left field. Banks got all of it to the wall. Tie game. Ernie Banks with a 3-2 pitch that caught too much of the zone, and he doesn't miss those. It's a 1-1 game now. 7th inning. Andrith the hitter. He's the catcher facing Runyon. Strikeout there. That's out number 2 with the man on first. Here's Eddie Mixis for the Cubs. 2-2 count. Man on first base. This ball's drilled into the gap there in right center field. Runner heading to third. They're going to send him. Relay to third base is going to be late. The Cubs take the lead. 2-1 here on the double. The runner was out at third base, but the run will count. And Chicago takes the lead here late. Moving to the bottom of the 7th. Easily up there, the hero of game one, facing Bob Rush. And this one's hit deep to left, way back to the wall, and Easley goes deep for the 2nd game in a row. He ties it up in dramatic fashion. We are tied at 2. Easley comes through, and Paul Backo now the hitter. Backo goes to third, and the ball is muffed there by the third baseman. Backo's going to be safe. It's an error by Baker. Encarnacion now the hitter. He strikes out swinging, so the game remains tied at 2. Luis Gonzalez, the hitter. Gonzalez drills it in the right center. That's going to get down here in the alley. Back goes heading for third. He's going to round third base. A triple for Gonzo. And it is 3-2 now in favor of the Tigers. They take the lead here after the error in the 7th inning. Back go coming home. It's 3-2, 4-2 the score now. We move to the 8th. Gene Baker facing nice flurry. And this one's hit deep to center field. It's going to get down. So that's extra bases for Baker. With a 1 out, he's on second base. 4-2 our score. And here's Banks, who's already homered. Banks will take it outside. They obviously pitch around the Chicago Star. And here's Morin at the plate with a 1 out. He strikes out there. Morin goes down swinging on a bad pitch. So with 2 outs, Monte Irving with 2 on. A 2-run game. He hits it to short. That'll be easy. So the Cubs leave him stranded here in the 8th inning, and it's 4-2 and getting later. Bobby Higginson, the hitter here, with nobody out. It's a full count. Higginson goes through the hole there to right field for a single. Tony Clark with the man on second base now. Clark will go up the middle. That's going to be over the shortstop's head. Clark gets a hit. So runners on the corners for the Cubs, or for the Tigers. They can't come through, so we'll move to the 9th. The Cubs up there. Wizen and at the plate. Broikal has come on again to try to close it out. This ball's drilled to right field for a single, so the Cubs with a 1 out get a man on. And Landreth is the hitter with himself representing the tying run, but he strikes out swinging. Broikal gets him there. So Eddie Mittis is the last hope for the Cubs. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Strike 3 in the zone. That'll do it. The Tigers take game number 2. 4-2 the final. They beat the Cubs here to take a 2-0 game series lead in this series. Brian Moeller, he went 6 strong. Bob Rush 7 strong for the Cubs, but he takes the loss. He let up those 3 runs in the 7th inning. Luis Gonzalez, he had the triple and the RBI. Broikal gets his 2nd save of the series, and the Tigers come from behind there in that 7th inning. They were down a run, and they go ahead and put 3 on the board easily with the homer to tie it. And then from there, it was Gonzalez and others that came through, and a big error as well by Baker and the Cubs that cost him in game number 2. So right now, it's all Tigers as the series will shift now to Wrigley Field. We'll see if the Cubs can rebound and make it a series again. The Tigers will send up off-speed specialist Frank Castillo to pitch. He had a rough year in '98. Let's see if he can put it together against Don Kaiser at Wrigley Field. It's game 3. See if the Cubs can fight back. They better do it quickly as the series continues. They don't want to fall down 3-0. So let's head out to Wrigley Field for game 3 between the Tigers and the Cubs. Here we go now, bottom 1st inning. It's Morin up there with the man on 3rd and 2nd. And there's a walk, so Morin will get on base, and it's going to be bases loaded for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 1st. 1 out, and Monte Irwin at the plate. Irwin strikes out looking. That's a big out there for Anderson. for Castillo. And now it's up to Wizenot with the bases loaded for the Cubs here in the very 1st inning. Here's the delivery. This ball's hit too short. Play will be made there, so the Cubs get out of it. Without scoring, they leave the bases loaded, and this game is scoreless into the 2nd. We have Debbie Cruz with 2 on now and 1 out. The Cubs up against it here. Here's a ground ball to the mound. Tough play there. They get the man at 2nd, but no double play. Still no score in this game. 3rd inning. Kaiser facing Clark with the man on 2nd. 1 out. Full count. This ball's hit to 2nd. Nice play there, but the ball gets away, and that's going to score a run. So the error by the Cubs will open the scoring for the Tigers. Clark on to second base. Hunter comes in to score. Fondy with the error. And the 2-0 game remains. We're in the 5th inning now. Bases loaded for Clark with nobody out. Crucial time here for the Cubs. This ball's drilled to center field. Base hit, 1 run in. Another man going to score. It is 4-0 Tigers. Taking advantage here in the 5th inning to extend their lead. It's 9-0. We move all the way to the 9th inning with 2 outs. Mix this up for the Cubs. It's been all Tigers today, folks. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fly to left field, should be routine. It is, and very quickly doing it in complete domination. It's the Tigers who have 16 hits at Wrigley Field and win Game 3 9-0. Stunning the Cubs, and Frank Castillo, who had an ERA upwards over 6 in 1998, puts it all together. The former Cub pitches into the 8th inning, shutout baseball, only walking 1. Brian Hunter, 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored, and Tony Clark, he had 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. No drama in this game number 3. It was all Tigers. 5th run, 5th inning was a big deal. Bad defense by the Cubs, and again, for the 2nd game in a row, that error cost them early. But the main story was they could not get anything on the board against Frank Castillo. And just like that, this series, folks, is 3-0 in favor of the 98 Tigers. We rarely have seen sweeps, but we might be seeing one here. If the Cubs have any life to them, it's going to be up to Warren Hacker to do the job in Game 4. He's going to face Seth Gressinger. Gressinger, the man who's going to pitch for the Tigers. Game 4 from Wrigley Field. Can Detroit sweep away the 56 Cubs? Or will the Cubs salvage a game and make a series out of it? Let's head out to Wrigley Field and see if this will be the decider of this best-of-7 series between the Cubs and the Tigers. Second inning, Luis Gonzalez up with a man on first base. And Gonzalez is going to line it into the gap. That's going to get down, so let's see if they send the runner. They will not, and it's 2nd and 3rd here in the 2nd inning for the Tigers. Paul Batko, the hitter. And Batko is going to line on into the gap, but there's going to be a play made by the center fielder. A great catch. The run will score. Easily crosses the plate. It's 1-0 Detroit. Cubs now coming back. Wisenant, the hitter, with 2 on, nobody out. And this is hit past the 3rd baseman. That'll get through. Run around in 3rd. The throw is on the money, but late, and it's 1-1 now. The Cubs come back and tie the game. And Landreth now at the plate. Landreth will line us to the 2nd baseman. Looked like he might have gotten through, but they make the play. And it is a 4-6-3 double play to keep the game tied at 1. And here's Warren Hacker with runners on the corners. Gressinger delivers. This ball's hit to center field. Caught out there. A nice play by the center fielder. Hunter has it. The 1-1 game remains. We move to the 6th now. Monte Irwin, the hitter. Man on first base. Irwin's going to groove this one to center field. Nice catch made there for the first out. Good pitchers duel here. We're in the 7th. Brian Hunter now at the plate. Hunter will groove one down the line. That's going to be a fair ball. So Hunter's going to make it to 2nd base here with a double. So with 2 outs, the Tigers have a runner on 2nd. Bobby Higginson with a chance. Higginson lines it to 1st. Nice play there made. He gobbled it up. The first baseman, Fondy. And we hit the 7th inning stretch. Still tied at 1 in this ball game. 8th inning now. Damian Easley, the hitter. And Easley's going to hit a 1-out single to left field. So Easley on base. And that'll bring up Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes to 1st. Runner advances to 2nd. So we got a runner on 2nd with 2 outs as the fans wrap up the stretch. Paul Batko, the hitter. And Batko in front of the mound. That's going to be a tough play. Play is made, however. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1 our score. 2 outs here for Ernie Banks. And Banks is going to single to center field, so Banks with a single. And Walt Morin's going to be the hitter. Morin goes to second. That'll be easy, so we'll move to the 9th inning here at Wrigley Field. We are tied at 1. In game number 4, Joe Randa at the plate. The Tigers, of course, up 3-0 in this series. And that fly ball is going to be caught, so the Cubs need to win this game to survive. Here's Encarnacion with 2 outs. He gets a base hit to right field, so Encarnacion comes through there with the 8th hit of the day for the Tigers. Here's Brian Hunter at the plate. Kirk Lone delivers, but he's worried about the runner on first. This ball, however, is going to be driven to left field, dropping in there for a hit. So another hit. And the Tigers are in business here with 2 outs for Higginson, 2 on. Well, this one's hit to third, and the play will be made there to end the top of the 9th. We move bottom 9th now, all tied up at 1. Monte Irwin has a chance now to start a rally against Doug Brokaw, who's come into the game. This ball's hit to third. Irwin's out. And Jim King now with 2 outs at the plate. King hits it deep, and that ball's got some carry, but it's going to be caught out there in left field, so we will go to extra innings. Game tied at 1. We've moved ahead now to the 14th inning. And Joe Randa's the hitter. 1-1 game still. And there's a strikeout. Randa goes down. What a game this has been. Pitchers duel. Both teams want it. The Tigers want to end this series. The Cubs want to survive. Jim Davis delivering to Heavy Cruz, and Cruz will single to center field. With 1 out, he gets on board. Davis now delivers to Bartree, and Bartree lifts it up, but that'll be caught. A nice play by the shortstop, Banks, who got out there. 2 outs. Here's Hunter. Runner going. Hunter pops it up. That'll be easy. So the 14th inning continues. We move to the bottom of the 14th. We are tied up at 1. Here's Gene Baker facing A.J. Sager. And this ball's hit back to the mound. Sager with the play, so that's going to be easy. Here's Morin. Morin lines it up the middle. There's a base hit. So the winning run again on the board for the Cubs. On first base with Monte Irving, the hitter. And Irving goes to right field. Sliced out there, but that's going to be caught. So that will end the 14th inning, fans. Marathon continues. We move to the 15th. Tied at 1. Bobby Higginson leading off the inning against Jim Davis. And this ball's drilled hard into right field, and Higginson has extra bases. Higginson all the way to third with a leadoff triple. A huge hit for the outfielder to put the Tigers in a huge opportunity spot here to take the lead. It's 1-1. And Damian Easley now with the man on first and third and nobody out comes up. He strikes out. A big strikeout there for the Cubs. Easley's down, and Steve Hillman now facing Louis Gonzalez. 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. Ball for the ball missed. Hillman walks him, so the base is loaded. 1 out. We got a 1-run game, and Paul Backo at the plate. Infield is in. Here's the delivery. Backo walks. A run is walked in. The Cubs don't get the call. Hillman now walks for the second time, and this game is 2-1 in favor of Detroit. Randa at the plate trying to extend the lead. He hits a base hit to center field. That's going to extend it. 1 run in. 3-1 now, Tigers. Remember, they're up 3-0 in this series, and now they got a 2-run lead in the 15th. It's going to be Dean Crow who comes in to try to lock things down. Facing Wasn't that for the Cubs, who lifts this one to left, but should be playable, and it is. So there's the opening out of this 15th inning. 2 outs now, and it's up to Eddie Mixis for the series. Try to keep it alive. Let's see if the Tigers can win it. Ball's drilled to left field, way back at the wall. Looking up, Mixis with a home run, giving hope to the Cubbies. A solo shot. It's 3-2, so the Cubs inch closer even with 2 outs. Mixis refuses to be the last man out. And now Hillman comes up, the pitcher, as the Cubs are out of roster outfield players, and he has a chance now to come through, but he lines it all the way into the corner in right field. The catch is made by Higginson. What a play he made, and celebrations as the Tigers have won this game in 15 innings, 3-2. And they have swept away the 1956 Cubbies. They win it in 4 straight, but that game 4 was an absolute classic. 3-2 the final. The Cubs win it. What a game it was. Paul Bacco for the winning side had 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Sager the winner, Davis the loser, and Crow found a way to get the save. The Cubs ran out of position players, used Hillman the bat in the bottom of the 15th. He lined one hard into the corner, and Higginson made a great play. Higginson, the one that started the rally with a triple in the 15th. So a series we were expecting to be a lot more competitive is not. It is all Tigers. They win all 4 games of the series, shutting out and sweeping the Cubbies. The Tigers won both games at home 4-2 before shutting out the Cubs in Game 3 and taking Game 4 in 15 innings. It was a quick 4-game series. Some of the numbers there by the Cubs, you can see nobody with over 2 RBIs. Morin had a 375 average, but the run producers never showed up for the Cubs. Some of the pitching was pretty good. Bob Brush with a 257. You see there Jones and Hacker did okay, but just wasn't meant to be for the Cubs in this series. They didn't get the performances they would have liked. Looking at the Tigers, easily with 4 RBIs and 2 home runs. He only hit 222, but his home runs, including the big one in game number 1, were a big difference. Luis Gonzalez, 353. Hunter hit 450. Tony Clark, 350, as well as Higginson for the Detroit lineup. However, it was their pitching really that made the big difference. Frank Castillo with that big start in the shutout in game number 3. Brokaw pitched in a number of games. He had 2 saves. He struck out 7, allowed nothing. A great series for him. Matt Anderson got a win as well in only 2 innings of work. And Moeller and Gressinger, decent, very good starts for them. 6 innings in their efforts and their wins. Brian Hunter is what the game says is the MVP. I'm, however, going to choose a bullpen man. Doug Brokaw, I thought, had a really good series. He pitched well. He pitched in 3 games, got 2 saves, 5 innings of work, struck out 7 in those innings, and just was really, really on his game. Hits allowed only 2. So I'm going to go with Brokaw as the MVP. But, of course, rarely do relievers get the credit when the game is concerned, and OOTP wanted to give it to Hunter, who hit 450 but did not drive in any runs. Regardless of who you like as the MVP, it is the Tigers that are celebrating. They win Series 156 in pretty efficient fashion, taking care of the Cubs in 4 games flat. So that will do it. That's a wrap for Series 156. Hope you didn't blink because it happened pretty quickly. And the Tigers, the victorious side. So we're going to send you off here after an exciting sweep by Detroit. Out of the Park Baseball 20 is your presenter. And again, the 1998 Tigers defeat the 1956 Cubbies 4-0. We'll see you very soon. Hope to see you on our next adventure and our next series.